So in addition to the formal feedback mechanisms like the mid-course feedback and the end-of-course evaluations, what I like to do is more formative ongoing feedback for my students. So there's a very simple thing called exit tickets where it could be a piece of paper, it could be a digital tool, but at the end of each lesson or every week in your course, you just elicit some very simple feedback. What I like to ask is, what did you learn to promote reflection? What are you still confused about? And what did you like or what did you dislike in terms of activities, in terms of pacing? So those three simple questions, what did you learn, what's still challenging, and what did you like or dislike, can give you some really nice, simple, formative feedback to make those changes during the course instead of waiting until the end of the course to get that feedback. So a very simple example from one of my courses was the feedback at the end of the week was everything was too fast. I was talking too fast. There wasn't enough time to do the activities. And I didn't realize from my perspective that I was making these errors. So when I received that feedback, it was a eureka moment that sometimes you just need to really slow down and have some breathing space in your lessons. So if I didn't ask that exit ticket feedback, I probably wouldn't realize that until much too late. So that's one simple example of how very simple formative feedback helped me to make a change.
Besides midterm and end of the semester feedback, I use 1-minute papers. 1-minute paper is a weekly space I provide to students to reflect on the lecture that was covered in that week. I've seen students use this space to revise, reflect, be analytical and critical about the content. The 1-minute papers give me ongoing feedback. There are 3 specific ways which I particularly like. One of them is sometimes students write the methods that they found interesting. So this makes me want to keep them, repeat them in the future. Also, sometimes students write how they looked at the content from a new perspective which may not have occurred to them during the class. Another example of feedback is when a student writes he or she prefers working in pairs and not in groups. This has helped me consider giving students an option to work in pairs.
Well, I think getting student feedback is very helpful for me so that I can adjust my course to be more suitable for the students. In my case, midterm evaluation is very valuable because I can get the student feedback and at the same time, I can still have some time to adjust my course to address all the comments from my students. So normally for my midterm evaluation, I only have 3 questions. First, what do you like best about the course? Second, what do you dislike most about the course? And third, how can we improve? And because the survey is anonymous, so normally the students are very honest in their feedback, and therefore I can get a lot of constructive feedbacks from my courses. So for example, in my first semester, some students say that they need more quizzes to do at home, to reflect and to revise their knowledge. So in the second half of my course, I try to make some quizzes for them to do before the class and after the class. But for those quizzes, it's not compulsory at all. So only those students who are hardworking, diligent, they will use the quizzes to practice at home. And they really like it.
Okay, for student feedback, absolutely. I believe that listening to our students' needs and their concerns, this is really important. But at the same time, I believe that the feedback collection is also or should be two-way communications, which means we have to offer our responses to our students' feedback. For this, I usually make a summary and slides right after the midterm feedback survey, and I share all of my responses to our students. This feedback usually includes what I'm going to do based on the feedback, but also includes what I am not going to do. We need to clearly communicate even if these feedback are not very relevant and they will not be a part of our follow-ups.
What I got the feedback from students during the midterm is that the level of the questions a little bit difficult, and they asked me to reduce the difficulty, because the thing is really difficult in the TPL learning is that you have to compose the question that is hard enough, but so that challenging for many, because we have the student range is really from very well advanced, someone that may be really beginning at physics. So how to tailor the question that is keep the interesting for the wide range is very difficult.